Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Boy, what an absolutely amazing morning it is. Actually, I've got a nice warm breeze coming in. Feels fantastic. Woke up with a little bit of a red eye this morning, rubbed it, and of course, got a little bit redder. So, got to go get that taken care of and what. But otherwise, what a fabulous day. Guys, the articles that I've been reading this morning, boy, I'll tell you, say a lot. So one of the articles that I was reading there has to do with, the automotive industry. Well, apparently between last year at this time and this year, there's 70% more inventory sitting on the lots. And in fact, you're going to probably see a lot of deep discounts and price drops in new vehicles. When it wasn't that long ago that, man, I'll tell you, they had such a shortage on inventory that they were paying premium prices to buy folks used cars so they had at least inventory to sell. Well, now that is totally reversed. You got 70% of cars on the lot. And a big reason for that, guys, of course, is this big rise in the interest rates because people don't want to go out there and finance or even lease finance a vehicle and pay these monstrous interest rates because it's way outside of what they can actually take on. And remember this too. When you go out and you finance these vehicles, and you're talking 3, 4, 5, up to even 7 years, that is a long time to be committed to making a payment like that, somewhere in the neighborhood of $600 to literally $800 on average a month. Truly crazy. But the other article was pretty telltale as well. Get this. So apparently, major banks, I mean, we're talking the big ones, Chase, Wells Fargo, all the big banks, they are now reporting bumper profits like they have not seen in years. And of course, that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Because we have heard that a lot of these smaller banks around America have all literally been collapsing and they've been absorbed by all these big banks that have seen record deposits and account openings as a result. Now, they like to put that out there. That is this is a good thing. Look how positive this is. But the reality is, guys, that is not a good thing. In fact, what's really going on is you're seeing the implosion and a massive liquidity crisis with all of these other banks out there. And it is going to cause some real major shockwaves. And think about this. When you're talking about the consolidation of all these smaller banks into these major, larger banks, what does that do, guys? Well, it kind of limits your opportunity of where you can go to get the services that you need, doesn't it? And on top of that, when you're dealing with these big banks the way that they are, the kind of oversight that they want to put on people and their accounts and how they utilize their money is absolutely staggering. In fact, the limits now that are coming out with your point of sale on your debit cards and what you can actually spend in a day is down to, in some cases, only $300. Can you imagine that? I mean, you go to the grocery store, your grocery bill is more than $300 on average, and that is what they're limiting to. In a lot of cases, people's point of sale debit cards are being reduced now, according to all this news, to around $300. Well, guys, in a way, isn't that like a monetary control of how much you can use and take out during the day? It's truly ridiculous. And in order to get more, you literally have to go out and go into your branch and actually deal with a person, because you try and deal with it over the phone with a client service center. A lot of times now they're referring people to go into the bank branch. And why is that? Oh, well, we're trying to eliminate fraud. We need to know it's really you that's doing it. Well, can't they figure that out over the phone? It's just crazy, absolutely insane. Now, one article that I was reading, this last one is a big one. This is coming out of the UN. And what the UN is wanting to do is they are wanting to enact emergency powers that would be literally be able to be enforced on a global level. And you're talking about, and the emergencies that they're talking about, of course these kind of dumps, things like that go on, and, climate change and whatever. And apparently, according to this article, it doesn't necessarily have to be a global situation in order to trigger an emergency event. And what you're really talking about there, guys, is absolutely forfeiting your national sovereignty. over to the UN so that they can literally bring in some of these, agencies. And in fact, you got Bill Gates out there wanting an emergencies power corps, almost like a UN police force that can actually go out there and respond to these quote unquote emergency situations as need be. But you know what that means, guys. You're talking about enforcing UN rules over sovereign states. And that's what's really going on there. And apparently, I guess the Biden administration is right on board with it. And you got a lot of people in Congress that are on the opposite side of the aisle saying, hey, wait a second here. We're not absolutely giving over our sovereignty to, with these treaties that you're talking about. But that is exactly what seems to be unfolding in a big, big way. Now, having said that, guys, you need to watch my video from last night because this one was on the IMF and the introduction of Unicoin. Now, I know a lot of you have probably heard about it already, but this is a universal central bank digital currency, a global CBDC, and we know who's been behind all the infrastructure, a majority part of the infrastructure for central bank digital currencies and working very closely with the IMF. Of course, that is Ripple. And when you hear the description of this Unicoin, it's like you're literally hearing the description of what the XRP ledger and XRP is. And apparently, XRP is leading the charge when it comes to this thing and being that bridge asset between all of these nation states. And it is a very, very informative video. It's something I think you want to get out there and watch. Now, I know there's folks out there that listen to my coffee chats and don't actually watch the videos in the afternoon. There's people in the afternoon that don't watch the coffee chats. But in this case, guys, I'm really recommending that you go and watch it and just get yourself clued in, because I'm telling you what, the world economy is changing, and it is changing rapidly. And I think that we got less than 18 months before we see a complete switch over to this entire standard. And all these central bank digital currencies worldwide coming into play and then interacting, get this, with a global central bank digital currency to interact with every one of these national central bank digital currencies. And you're literally seeing the infrastructure to resolve this current liquidity crisis in a massive way. And I think it's coming a whole lot faster than what many of us believe. Wow, that's tasty. I love it. Anyway, guys, I'll tell you what, I sure hope you're having a fantastic Friday. And of course, Friday is the weekend, and the weekend's for friends and family. I genuinely hope that this weekend you get out there and spend some time. Hey, throw up the barbecue and really just start to enjoy one another this weekend, of course, and get out and enjoy nature. It is absolutely gorgeous no matter where you are. Try to get out and enjoy it a little bit, because I'll tell you, I know what it's like to be so focused in on this space, and you can think about it so much that it'll literally consume you in a way. And it's so vitally important to actually put some balance in your life. And we need that. We need to have sharp minds, because look, so much stuff is coming down the pike that you got to filter all that through and filter it out. So hey, I hope you have a great weekend and you actually get out there and able to do that. So until later on today, where we have an excellent video planned, have a great one and take care.